Hi, Peter Charles here, and let's talk about a problem I think all of us have experienced, where our editing software, be it, Lightroom, Capture One, or Apple Photos, gets clogged out with a load of photos that aren't that great, some may be horrible, and they're still sitting there in the software. You've never got rid of them. They sort of just hang around. So let's talk about an approach that you can take to avoid this problem from happening in the first place. Okay, when I started off with this kind of digital asset management software, I was working with Aperture, which is now a defunct program from Apple, and it would get clogged out with a lot of old photos, and then I'd have to painstakingly go through and start deleting them. I switched to Apple Photos and Capture One. Same problem. I'd load my photos in and I'd start working on my photos. And so what was happening is I was mixing up together editing and culling. And you should cull, then edit. This mixing of editing and culling means you just don't cull very well. You end up with a lot of garbage photos clogging up your software. So I'm going to talk about a way of using the operating system on our Macs, and I'm sure Windows will do it as well, to cull through easily and then only loading, the decent photos into our editing software, like Capture One, for example, or Lightroom or Photoshop. So, we've gone out, we've shot lots of photos, and we've got a card full. Now, I could actually edit on the card. That's a possibility. No, I shouldn't say edit, cull on the card. That's a possibility, but I find it a bad idea. First off, that card full of photos is essentially my original copy. So if you start messing with the original copies, that's a recipe for a disaster. So by putting this onto my computer, I now have this as my backup. Second problem, of course, is that if I do all the work on this, I run the risk of forgetting to put it back in the camera, and I go out with a camera with no card. So has that ever happened to people before? I'm sure it has. And the third reason is if you delete from one of these cards, you have to remember to empty the trash before you eject the card. Otherwise, you won't recover the space from the deletions. You then have to format it to get it back when you put the card back into your camera. So going off the card is not a great idea. What I do instead is I have a temp directory on my desktop, and I put all of these photos into that temp directory, and I do my culling there. So now I've got two copies. I've got the original on the card, and I've also got a copy in the temp folder. I go through that, clean that all out, so I've only got the keepers left over, and then only then do I work in my editing software, and only then do I try to organize. That was the other problem I got into with the things like Aperture and Capture One, is I would organize the photos in a certain way and then suddenly realize, well, that wasn't really a good method. So if you throw it into a temp directory first, you have the ability to think about how you want to organize this collection of photos. And the other good thing about a temp directory is if you've gone out on a shoot with 2 or 3 cameras and you've come back with 2 or 3 cards, you can throw all of them into the temp directory so you see all of them at the same time. And that's a much cleaner way of doing it because you've got the output of 3 cameras side by side. You can pick the best one out of the 3. So let's get talking about how I'm going to do it. We're going to go onto my desktop here. We're going to work with a folder that I've already created. And I'll show you the method I use, and it's pretty slick, and I'm sure Windows can do it as well. I mean, I haven't touched Windows since I retired in 2011. So I'm out of date with Windows, but I'm sure there's a method just the same. So let's get going. Okay, I have this folder on my desktop. It's permanent, and I take the images on the SD card and copy it to this folder, and then I eject the SD card and it goes back in the camera so I don't forget about it. And the advantage of having a permanent folder on your desktop is that all the settings we're going to make for the viewing are remembered. So the next time we do this, we don't have to go through this setup again that I'm showing you right now. Now, before we begin, you notice I've put the quick look button on my toolbar using a customized toolbar. And this gives me the ability to take a quick look at an image in an enlargement without involving any software. So it's quick, easy, and done. So we're going to go through the setup of the folder. And as I said, once you've done this once, you don't have to do it again. So we're going to put it in icon view. And when you go into icon view, those are way too small to be usable. So I'm going to open up show view options. And I right click the desktop. And I'm going to click always open in icon view. And I'm going to make my icon size as big as possible. But you notice group by and sort by, I'm going to leave as is. I'm not going to do anything with those. So once we've done that, we can get rid of it. Now you can see things look a little cut up and messed up. So what I do is I come in here and so clean up, and then you can choose by name, kind, date modified. I'm going to use date created, and now it's nice and neat. And we can go through and get rid of some of the bad shots. So we'll go through here, and you can see some of these shots are a little on the dark side, or these two at the back, the head of the woodpecker is not great, so we're just going to highlight those. Bang, gone. And that's another one there we don't like. Get rid of that. And then go through here and pick the ones we don't like. They're obvious problems. These guys are a little small. Oh, that's not a good shot. I'll get rid of that one. And if I wanted to check this one, for example, I can come up to my quick look and open it up and see what they're like. Well, this one's got a branch growing out of the bird's back, so I'll get rid of that one as well. And you see, I'll go through these in this fashion. And if I wanted to get rid of a whole bunch, I would just highlight them like this, and then I can, command backspace, and they're all gone. So the deletion is very quick as well. And say if I got one, I'll open this guy up and see what it's like. Oh, this is a nice one, so I'm going to keep this guy. And one thing we can do is we can color code, put a red tag and say that's a keeper. And we've got multiple colors, so we can, add different colors for different meanings. So that one's a keeper. We're going to do this one. I will look at this guy. And we think, well, not a great shot, no, but, maybe I want to keep it for some other reason, so I might give that a green tag. And now, you see, I can come back. I might use that for stock footage for a cormorant or something like that. And you see we get these gaps. You just go by, clean up by, I'm use date created again, and it reorients things. If you want to go full screen, again, clean up by, now we're working force aside. Another thing that's handy when you do this, if you're working with both JPEG and RAW, so you've got your camera set up to produce both JPEG and RAW, you'll end up with the JPEG and the RAW side by side. So if you want to, this one's JPEG and this one's RAW, and you want to get rid of it, you just highlight both and they're gone. And if you want to get rid of just the JPEGs, then you can do a cleanup by kind, group all the JPEGs together and delete them, get rid of them, and keeping only the raw files you like. So there's lots of flexibility in how you can clean things up. And the end result is you end up with a folder that has just the images you want to keep. And you're not putting a whole bunch of different garbage photos into your editing software, which may or may not ever get deleted, which is one of the problems I've had in the past, where I get into the editing before I've finished the culling, and as a consequence, they never get completely culled. So by dividing the culling and the editing, you end up with a cleaner process that works a lot more smoothly, and you don't end up with a lot of garbage in your editing software. So give that a try. So you can see that's pretty slick and pretty easy. We got a cull going quite easily. We're able to check each image if we wanted to. A lot of the time we don't have to. The flaws show up quite quickly. And we end up with a small amount of photos, which we can now work with in editing software, or just simply, file away, whatever we want to do with it. But we've got it down to a reasonable amount before we do anything else with those photos. So give that method some thought if you're trying and finding that you're cluttering up your editing software with a load of photos that aren't worth keeping. So give that some thought. Cheers.